Picture this. It's 2026, and the world wakes up to the wildest notification imaginable. Breaking. US troops land in Greenland. Sounds like a rejected Netflix plot, right? Except this time, Denmark's response isn't popcorn, that would be a war. And suddenly, the iciest place on Earth just turned red hot because yes, a Danish MP went on CNN and said the quiet part out loud. If American boots touch Greenland without permission, Denmark will fight back. Not tweet back, not sanction back, fight back. And before you laugh and say, come on, Denmark versus the US, hold that thought. This story gets deeper, messier, and way more awkward. First reality check. Greenland is not an empty ice cube waiting to be claimed. It's home to about 57,000 people who have been very clear about one thing: they don't want to be American. That's not speculation, that's polling, politics, and repeated statements from Greenland's own leaders. Trying to acquire Greenland without consent isn't a business deal, it's conquest. And in international law, conquest is just a fancy word for everyone turning against you. Now here's where it escalates. Denmark didn't just talk. They quietly sent more troops, more helicopters, more boots on snow. Not as a stunt, but as a signal. Think of it like locking your door while staring directly through the peephole. Calm, but very intentional. And those troops aren't alone. They're training with Germany, France, the UK, Norway, Sweden, Finland. Basically, NATO's group chat showing up in person. And this is where the math gets uncomfortable. If the US invaded Greenland, it wouldn't be America versus Denmark. It would be America versus allies. Allies who share intelligence, bases, treaties, and decades of trust. NATO fighting. NATO is like watching a fire station argue over who started the fire while the building burns down. But wait. Isn't this all about national security? Russia, China, the Arctic chessboard? Denmark's answer is blunt. We already handled that. They've invested around $14 billion into Greenland's defense satellites, troops, surveillance. In other words, the house is already guarded. Buying it doesn't make it safer. It just makes you responsible for the mortgage, the heating bill, and a population that resents you. And resentment matters. Governing a place where people don't recognize your authority isn't strategy, it's an endless headache. Every protest becomes a headline. Every election becomes resistance. You don't gain security, you inherit instability. Then comes the emotional gut punch. Denmark isn't talking like an enemy, they're talking like a disappointed friend. We've stood with you for 250 years, Jarlov said. Translation: this isn't who you're supposed to be. The US isn't known for invading allies. It's known for building coalitions. The moment that image cracks, the damage spreads far beyond Greenland, and Europe is already bracing. Emergency EU meetings, tariff threat, leaders flying in instead of calling on Zoom because when diplomacy goes physical, things are serious, very serious. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Greenland isn't the prize. Credibility is. And invading Greenland wouldn't just cost money, troops, and alliances. It would rewrite how the world sees American power. This isn't about ice. It's about trust. And once that melts, refreezing it takes generations. If this story surprised you, good. If it made you uncomfortable, even better. Drop your take in the comments. Do you think this is real strategy or political theater? And if you want more stories where global power plays sound fake but aren't, hit like, subscribe, and stay right here, because the coldest conflicts often burn the hottest.